BagFuel, baby.
Our BagFuel was popping. We back in our Venezuela location.
Yeah. Phil Jackson let us rent his spot out for like an hour or two or some shit, yo. Yo. Man, speaking of Phil Jackson, legendary coach, in this game, yo, and anything you do, you always got to prepare for the end, which is a scary thing. Because, you can have something popping off and it might end in a year. Because I remember Essa, when you was talking about one of the lines that changed your life was, people only subscribe to hot, but nobody ever thinks that, you're not gonna be hot forever. Nothing lasts forever. And I think with BagFuel and this situation is always planning on what happens when that flame turns off, bro.
Well, if you allow your flame to turn off, you already behind the 8 ball. Like I always say, Black people always do things when it's too late. You don't wait till the flame turns off to then try to make your move. You're using the position that you're in like a BagFuel to prolong your flame. So while this is going on, you have to see what other things that you also do well that relate to what you're doing right now. And that's what most people don't do. It's like when people rap, then they can go act. They can produce TV shows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's so many different things that you can do with your fame. You put out clothes, you put out sneakers. You know what I'm saying? All of these different things prolong your life in the spotlight because they're going to promote you. They're going to keep your name out there. And then you can go on and make moves.
I feel you. People, one of the things, we've seen is people are very, very scared or afraid to distribute their flame. Because part of keeping your flame going is distributing and diversifying in other fields that you're good at or that you're working to be good at. But, we've been around artists that have 100 songs in their files and won't put one song out. Won't put anything out. And what I've noticed in this is like people stay in that one bracket and they think that bracket is going to keep them going for however long it's going to keep them going. And what is it? Most artists, the successful artists, their run is what, 3 years if they're lucky? If that much? 29 months?
Man,
and it's a wrap. The average NBA career is 3 years. Done. You're done at what, 23? 25? If you're lucky?
But it's still all about what you do with that time. If you're only planning to play basketball, then you have to worry about those 3 years. If you're planning to do other things with your life and with your career, with your popularity, it doesn't have to fizzle out. People just get stuck in one lane. It's like when I said, when I came into this space, I wanted to diversify. I wanted to diversify myself in this space before I even was known with people. I sat and thought about what I wanted to do within the space, what I wanted to sell, what I wanted to become, what I wanted to do if this space was successful. Me being on the radio right now is because I sat down and said, if I become a successful podcaster or a YouTuber, where can this take me? This wasn't going to be the end. I always said to you, and I even said to Ghost, BagFuel is a stepping stone to what we're going to be in life.
Yeah.
Somebody might take BagFuel and say, you're being tremendously successful. You got 20,000, you got 25,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
You're on course to have 75 to maybe 150,000. And you're going to make money off of that. Y'all can make $10,000, $15,000 a month off that. Somebody might be satisfied with $5,000 a month.
Yeah,
they might be. And they might want to build from that and say, well, next month it's going to be $6,000 a month. But then it could fizzle out at any point in time.
And also, too, you never know when your run's going to end. And what I mean by that is, like you said, preparing for that run to end. But freak things can happen to, divert your course. And you just got to figure out how to pivot right then and there or sit down and strategize. Because you could be the hottest podcaster, YouTuber, and what you said, one wrong word. Yeah. Even that skit that Mano did, that could have, if people took it the wrong way, You know?
Yeah, but he would still have other things. Like
You think
his
so?
skit,
Not
that skit
yeah.
that he's doing or whatever he did with the kid, that's a social media skit platform. He still could go back and then rap. He still has businesses that he owns.
Yeah.
He can then, if he really wanted to, he did a TV deal for a podcast. He got other things that he could still do. Doing those other things is what keeps people hot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have to cross market yourself. The best way to cross market yourself is to indulge in these other things that you do. I model too. I take pictures for companies. They take those and they post those and they brand those and they promote those as well. So people are then gonna see my face over there and I'm making a couple dollars off of them as well. It's the same thing.
I got a thought in my mind, and let's work this one out. Is it possible to stay hot without being visible?
Doing what?
In any field, because one of the things that people don't know about you, right? If somebody came or you just made 20 million out of nowhere and you're like, you don't got to be on camera ever again, you'll be good with that.
I'm fine.
That's a rarity.
I'm fine.
No, I want that. And we know you're not joking. Ghost, and I know you're not joking. But now, with that money, is your visibility the same? Are you still going to be hot the way you were hot? Now, you're going to make business deals behind the scenes and things of that nature. But these people, can they walk away? And I don't think a lot of people can walk away from that clout, that visibility, because that energy of people knowing you, that energy of getting all these perks and going around is really hard just to give up. And that's why I feel like a lot of people, they're afraid to, diverge, because they're like, am I still going to have that same visibility, that same, attraction that people get from me when they see me, even though I'm making the bread?
But it all depends on what you want. My goal is to be successful
first,
get a Hollywood star, and make money to take care of my family.
How you going to get a Hollywood star behind the scenes, though?
I would get it before that. You don't have to get it. You don't have to keep going and get it. You know what I'm saying? People do behind the scenes that produce movies, that do. It's various ways to get a star. But it's like after you get to that point, the ultimate goal is to make money to take care of your family.
Of course.
That's in my mind. So if I have the $20 million and I can go off into the sunset and my family is being taken care of and I'm good, that's my ultimate goal. My ultimate goal is not to be popular. For not the people to see me and go crazy because they're seeing me. My ultimate goal is to be successful and have people digging me, and I can translate this into dollars to take care of myself and my family.
But don't you need a certain level of popularity to get to that point of notoriety for the Hollywood star? Especially in the field of, we don't know where this is going to take us. We have certain plans and direction, but based on how you're transmitting how you want the Hollywood star, it's going to be based on your talent, your visibility. Currently, right now, things can change. You never know. Ghost, you and I could come up with a Netflix movie. It's the biggest thing. We out of here. It can happen in 6 or 7 months.
And if I don't have a Hollywood star, I'm cool with that.
Oh, well, yeah, we know that.
That's what people don't like. If I don't accomplish that, that's the end goal for me. You know what I'm saying? For people that we're talking about prolonging their life and within the scope of their popularity. That's just what we're talking about. So when we talk about that I'm just saying you do all of these different things to get to that point. Some people could get to the point Kanye been had a Hollywood star. Kanye been rich. He could have been faded to black if he wanted to.
If he wanted to.
That's me. I'm rich. I got my star. People know me. I'm fading to black. I want to enjoy my life. People don't think about enjoying their life. That's why they don't think about the end. Their mind is wrapped around their success and how people receive them, which makes them feel good. I'm not built like that. I feel good by myself. With my 3 or 4 friends, whatever I do, I'm good. The fact that the public is receiving me is great and it's a bonus. But that's not what's going to drive me in my life.
Thinking about the end is scary because when people hear the end, they're thinking death. And it's only scary because you don't know what's after death. Whether you believe in the afterlife, whether you believe, whatever your religious feelings are, if everyone knew what was after we're done in dust, people would be more inclined to figure out where to go next. So when you say, yo, how am I gonna end the last 30 to 40 years of my life? It's very rare you hear people say that. And the whole game plan before, everything blew up with social media was you get a job, you get a 401k, you get a retirement plan, and you get to retire your last 12 years after 65. People are like, nah, I'm trying to have my shit set up by the time I'm at least 40.
I mean, let's be clear. That was before social media.
That's what I said, before the social media, yes.
You said when social media hit, no. That was before social media.
Really?
Yes. The same people that's doing it now was doing it before. Now the other 90% are trying to catch a wave and they're trying to do it. They're not super duper successful. People come out here and work for themselves and they quit and they go back and get a job more often than they stay working for themselves. So it's not social media just gave the other 90% people the possibility that they could do it. But what people got to understand is y'all were late. Niggas was doing it. I was doing this in the 90s. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But here's when you were
and there were many other people. I wasn't the first. I saw many other people, and the ones that are still lit right now that y'all seeing are the people that was doing it.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but let's put into context. When you were doing that, depending on what circles you in, you were looked at as a deviant. You were looked at as an outcast. Because even Gary Vee said it. When he was learning to be an entrepreneur and not going to college and figuring it out, you went to college, but you still were like, this is my road. People looked at it crazy. You're not going to get a job. You're not going to be in a corporation. Where's your retirement plan at? How are you going to make this happen? You don't get a punch clock? Now it's reverse. You go to work?
It all depends on the people you surrounded yourself with then and now.
I'm not discounting that.
Here, but this is what I'm saying. I didn't surround myself with people like that.
No, but I'm saying, I get that, but the people you surrounded with, that was a small circle in comparison. Because when you say you with the 10%, by definition, the 10 is way smaller than the 90. You get what I'm saying? So now we've circled around to where people, like you said, everyone can see it's possible. It looks chic. It's amazing to be to be master of your own circumstance versus having to do a 9 to 5.
This dog is kicking my ass in here right now.
Yo, I see it.
But go ahead, it's nothing y'all can do about it.
It's nothing you can do about it.
I'm allergic to dogs.
No, I understand. So that's why when you were doing it, you're considered a pioneer, a trailblazer, a rogue. It didn't seem that way because the people you were around, that's what you had to do to survive.
No, I was considered a rogue to people like my father.
That's what I'm talking about.
But
yes.
I know, but you're stressing it. I'm trying to explain to you is this. I wasn't the only one that was doing it. It was many more people that were doing it. People like yourself were surrounded by a mad people that were not doing it. People like your parents, people like my parents. But when I went away to college, everybody was doing it. This was the thing. Niggas was finding ways to make their money at 17, 18, and 19. It was who you were surrounded by. Now, when I went to Morgan State, it was only 8,000 kids going at the time. Everybody, Mike Lighty, Chris Lighty brother was there. I came there. There was the dudes called TTC that threw parties there. They done went off and did comedy. They done went off and got football players and all different type of things. It all depends on who you surrounded yourself with. If you're going to where people's minds are working and they're doing different things in the same type of time where everybody else is doing nothing, it's all about who you surrounded with. I could have stayed in Southside Jamaica, Queens, and niggas could have said be a bus driver and get a job. I didn't choose to do that. I didn't want to surround myself with that. Niggas stay there and then they compare their life experience to where they stayed at in Brooklyn, in Queens, to the world. And I keep telling them that's not the case.
But when they say you could have been a bus driver, if you scale it out, there's way more SO bus drivers than SO the podcast.
There ain't no SO bus drivers because SO would never be a bus driver. That's the point. My father was a boss and I could have been that. No, that's not for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't surrounding myself with those people. That's that same mind state that I'm telling you. Once niggas say, see, this is me. Once everybody's saying that I'm doing this and I'm doing that and I don't want to do that, I realize I can't be here with them. That doesn't mean that other people aren't thinking like me. I'm just not around them. And you have to put yourself around them or else your mind is going to be consumed by the 90%.
No, it's
You're going to think now that social media did this and social media did that and that's why people are doing that. But if you was around us prior, you would say, nah, social media didn't do that.
But you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. It's shown more people that they can do it. That's what we're saying.
But they're not doing it.
No, but there's more happening. It's still a skewed number, but more people, just like the GameStop shit. No one gave a fuck about trading online in scale. Then when the whole GameStop thing happened, oh, yo, I got $500.
And now niggas ain't doing it no more.
You know why? Because it's hard.
It's hard. See, it ain't sexy.
Yes, you're right.
All right, but he's making, see.
But more people still doing it, though.
No, bro. They're trying and they're not succeeding. It's not working. See, it still goes back to the 10% of the people that are gonna take the time and watch the roller coaster go up and down. And that's so you can still say, oh, people gonna say, oh, we're gonna podcast, right? And then we see a study that podcasts are down 80%.
Yeah.
So does it matter that people saw ghosts and saw us and say, yo, we're gonna try to podcast, nigga, you can't do it. But this is still for the 10%. No matter how much you put it out on social media, you can say all these people is rapping. They throw rapping records up against the wall, a couple are making money, but in the grand scheme, it's only for the 10%. Period. So when niggas keep saying this one did this one did that, this wasn't happening, I am the poster child to it was happening. I was there. I was the one that was doing it. I was with the people. So when niggas keep saying it wasn't happening, no, and there was a lot of motherfuckers. I wasn't the only one. I was one of many. That's how I got to know Clue and all of these people prior. Foxy, Anton, Gavin, the 50 Cents and all them. Why? Because these was the niggas that was doing it before social media made it sexy.
But you're not getting what I'm saying. It made it sexy to where more are coming in. Is it still a crazy number? No, but more coming in. When you're doing it, how I look at, when you talk about Morgan State and how everybody's doing it, I just compare it to the Harlem Renaissance. You were there and you part of the, no, listen to what I'm saying. Since that time, how many times have you seen a great collection of dope people in Harlem? You can take the Cameron era here and there, but it gaps out. So when you talk about Morgan State and that run you had, since that time, I mean, you might be out of touch, but how many other classes had that many people of a run?
I was not, I'm gonna be honest.
You know, that's not unfair question.
I'm not in touch, but what I can say is Howard University, which is 40 minutes away, we already know what their run is like. And their run is always going to continue because their people go Puff Daddy, Mark Piss, and all them. They go back, and they go back. Envy didn't go there. He went to Hampton.
My fault. I was mixed up the
You know what I'm
H's.
saying? They always go back and they give back. So that's what prolongs them. That's what have people understand that their legacy is big. When you go to that school, you're promoted to be an outward thinker. That's what they promote at that school. Black people that are coming in and think and doing different things. They're not going there to get a job.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? When you're going to college, when people was going to college, that old school thought about go to college to go get a job. Everybody in college wasn't doing that. That was a small amount of people who had their parents on their neck saying, be a doctor, be a lawyer. But there were so many people that were going to college to find themselves. That's what college gave you. It gave you 4 to 5 years to see and figure out what you want to do, what's going to toot your horn, that's going to keep you going. When niggas is on the street and they don't have that time to themselves to develop their own mind and go somewhere else and be on their own and do their own thing for a period of time. Now when niggas go away for 1 or 2 years, they say, oh, well, I went to college. No, nigga, you went for a second. You didn't stay. You didn't finish. You didn't grind out. You didn't suffer. You didn't not eat. You didn't do none of these type of things. Those are the things that build your character and build your mental will to go further and say, I'm not going to do what these other people is doing. And you're surrounded by people that's doing it, so it's right there for you.
I think where you went to school was an anomaly. Because, no, I'm going to tell you why. What made you want to go to that school?
My mother sent me. She forged my name.
Okay.
Because I thought I was going to be in the hood. But there are many other black colleges that have other people that are
No,
excelling.
what I'm
It's
saying in
promoted them.
scale, because the running ideology is you go to college, you major in these majors, you stay in this field, you thug it out to get to these jobs. That's how they sell college to kids in high school. Not to be an outward thinker, not to find yourself and then figure out how to flip your bread. Because when I'm hearing that, this isn't told to a lot of people as during a generational period of point. It was like, hey, your life is gonna be fucked up if you don't go to college. If you don't go to college and then figure out to get this job, do your 4 years, get this master's, go into these companies. That's how it's sold outside of where you were at. So, yes, nigga, what are you talking about? So when I see that, I'm like, what?
Depends on the college.
That's what I'm saying. It depends on the
He went to a college for engineering and sound. It's not the same thing that I went to.
I went to other little schools, got degrees. It's the same shit. When you focus on this, this is the. No, even in college, I'm looking at dudes.
I went to college and I went to trade school. And some college professors change your thinking on what to work a job. I went to business school.
Yes.
So I went to school for business.
So you went to multiple schools.
They teach you how to grow a business. You don't have to work for somebody.
That's what Morgan State and historically black colleges do with their kids. That's what's provided. That's why I said I wasn't going to argue because I don't try to downplay people.
No.
Or because it can be received differently on camera. Like, you didn't go where I went, so I'm not going there. But when you're going to a 4-year HBCU university, it's different. Look at Thea, the boss of Power 105, HBCU.
Let me ask you this.
Look at Envy. You know what I'm saying? When you go on.
Do you think how you learn, how y'all all learn in the HBCU, right? Because now what you're giving game is, this is the place to go to be a different level echelon individual. Is that the same vibe at Stanford, Arizona, and Oregon?
No, because you're not around your people.
That's what I'm saying.
But I didn't go to those schools, but I did go to Maryland College Park because I knew a lot of people there and girls there, and my ex-girlfriend went there, so I spent time out there. I knew basketball players there. It's a different type of vibe. They have a core of black people there, but they got a core of black people there, but they don't have black people surrounding you with ideals. You're not finding the different type of scales of what people is doing because you have to see your people doing it. I'm a big proponent of that. So when I came and I saw people throwing parties and you come to me and say, do you want to throw a party? I'm seeing that these young dudes are throwing parties. Yo, I'm going to try it. I think I could be successful with that. When you go into Maryland College Park, they're not throwing parties in clubs. They're throwing parties inside the dorm room for the black kids, and they're doing keggers and bringing all these other type of things.
And I was around that.
That was not my experience.
That was my experience.
My experience is if you're throwing parties and you're popular, you transcend that into money and more popularity into doing what you want to now do. What people don't understand is if you're popular, there's nothing you can't do. Anybody that you want to touch is gonna know your popularity. So it's about, like we said from the beginning, you have to know where you're going. If you're waiting till something ends and then you're making the move, you're already late. You have to think and strategize about making your move, or while you're taking steps and freaking blowing up and you're bringing people on, you have to see what your extensions is. I'm doing voiceovers next. I'm on the radio, I'm doing voiceovers. That all stems from podcasting and YouTubing. That's a whole nother life. It's not sexy, it's not with a camera, but I love it.
I mean, bro, real shit, the voiceovers, especially for those Pixar movies, dog, I could see you being in one of those Finding Nemo 10, and because everyone really, it's gotten to the point you can have your hoodie on, you can have 3 hoodies on. If you say, yo, that's Esso.
They know my voice.
Yo, Ghost, it's crazy.
A dude from Wisconsin, I was walking, I was walking around and just talking to him, and I walked past the dude. 2 white boys, 2 white girls. Flew right past him. Excuse me. I got up the block, I'm talking Hynaken. He's like, Esso! And I'm like, yo, like, I turned around.
I was on the phone.
He's like, yo, I'm from Wisconsin. I can't believe I'm bumping into you. He's like, I heard your voice.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, like, I can't even talk when I'm walking around the street no more.
This is audio podcast too.
Or audio podcast.
Yeah.
I always forget that, bro.
Keep thinking
Visual.
Hynaken is stuck on the YouTube algorithm. Nigga, we on Apple and Spotify as well.
Yeah, you're right.
And
Apple and
those
Spotify.
get hundreds and thousands of views too.
Yeah, they are.
So you gotta.
I don't even think about
they
Apple and
just listen to
Spotify. Yeah. So they can, no wonder they would be in tune with my freaking voice because they're not even seeing my face. But just on the scale of things that you can just see that
Keeping the flame going.
there are other ways to keep the flame going when I do my modeling or I take my pictures. I can't model after I'm not hot. I'm not sculpted or nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? So why would they want me? I'm not 6 feet tall, but while I got popularity, I'm taking a stab at print modeling that gains my popularity, walk a couple of runways, do a couple of things, and now I might be in line to have a new career in fashion. Look at Pharrell. He's at Louis Vuitton right now. Why? Because he shows his fashion.
Yeah, that's funny talking about 6 feet. Because the number one question, the number one statement I get posed, I thought you were taller. I'm like, I know, bro, I know. That happened to us at the nightclub. This dude, he was staring because he had seen Esso.
Shout out to Rayon. Rayon Lawrence, K9 from BMF.
And I saw him, and then he looked. He said, yo, you look familiar. And I'm like, I just got one of them faces. He's like, no, you're a podcaster. He said, I thought you would have been taller. I'm like, I know, bro.
Why, when people say you look familiar, why? I'm still struggling with this. Why it always gotta be something extra? Like,
what?
Like, yeah, I got one of those faces. Why you can't just say it's me? This is my
name. They always figure it out.
But I'm saying, why is it so like
they enjoy the experience,
no,
no. Yes, they do.
You enjoy the experience. You're speaking for the people that you never ask them, do you enjoy trying to guess who I am?
Yes, they do.
No,
yes, they do, because they always come back and they say, yo, you're Hynaken.
I've been around a lot of famous people and people be like, you look familiar. And I just like what they do. Like, because sometimes you just wait for them to figure
it out.
It's crazy.
See, part of your success is you don't let shit happen. You're like, I'm gonna get to the A to the point. Esso's not an A to B nigga. He's an A to A nigga.
I'm sitting there with Alchemist and somebody like, yo, you look familiar.
Yo, and you just
like, yo, he's an amazing painter.
Yes, you see?
Some wild shit. Just
you gotta go to do.
I don't get it.
Yo, because Esso be like, yo, what? People like, what do you do? I'm like, now, because Esso's like, he don't like when I say drug dealer. I like to conform. So I say, I'm a plumber now. You know, his face. Look at his face.
I don't get it.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. I take my popularity seriously.
We all do.
I want you to know my name. Yeah. This is me. You don't have to guess. I'm not big time. I'm not Idris Elba or even Joe Buttons or one of them. I need you to know my name. That's all I'm saying. These people got facial recognition. You see my face? You trying to guess? I am Esso. Period. You know what I'm saying? Not no painter, not no drug dealer, not a plumber. This is me.
You tell them in the end. But
yeah.
It's just fun.
It's fun.
You gotta figure it out.
I'm boring. I just want to be on the beach. I'm boring as hell.
Yo, me? My new joint, I'm going back to the classic. I'm an astronaut. What? Why do people not believe there's black astronauts that wear gold chains?
They're not walking the streets, bro. What? They live a whole nother life.
Where they walking to, bro?
They live in a whole nother life.
Pakistan?
They not local in Brooklyn.
There's astronauts in Brooklyn.
That astronauts do.
Florida.
Yeah, come on, stop.
Oh, you guys, man.
You talking about a retired astronaut, a retired one?
Yes.
Come on. Well, then you're not an astronaut.
Yes, I am.
You're a civilian. You're on the streets. That's why I said, where's your garb? Where's your suit?
Why would I wear a suit on Flatbush?
Because you're an astronaut. That's what they do.
So that's like saying,
that's what they do.
Man, why don't you wear your garbage suit when you go to the club, bro, and walk down?
When servicemen walk around in New York City, they wear their uniform. They want people to know that they're in the service.
You wear your uniform to your job.
That's when they don't. They walk around getting vagina from girls because they wear their uniforms and girls like them in uniform. Stop it.
When I used to work construction and all that shit, I wore my shit around.
Thank you.
Like, I get off work and I'm not taking my shit off.
Niggas wear, they say the girl be like, oh, you got a job?
So when I
you work construction,
all right, so when I
she like construction dudes.
So when I come off the rocket ship, I gotta come down right there on Nostrand and
you gotta have
with
the
Mano.
You gotta have the motherfucking boots on at least, nigga.
With the helmet.
Facts.
Yo,
wear the boots and that onesie shit with the flag on it and everything. You gotta be official.
I swear to you, if we went to Philly and had an astronaut suit, yo, Esther would be like, yo,
I bet he's an astronaut. I bet he's an astronaut, bro. Facts.
Yeah, this is crazy. What's on your mind, Ghost? You look like you saw something.
No, because they're trying to front bargain.
It's hard.
Okay.
It's hard.
It's hard.
We good.
Yeah. Bank of America, Ghost?
It ain't Bank of America. It's Silicon Valley Bank. Bank of Silicon Valley.
At this point, man, it's all about having a safe because your money ain't safe in a bank. Your money's not safe digitally.
Okay, but no, but they're trying to have everything digital.
Mm-hmm.
So when you now they're trying to like behind the scenes trying to act like if you deposit cash in the bank, they looking at you.
You're
crazy.
a criminal.
You know what I'm saying?
You're a criminal.
Exactly.
They don't want no cash.
They don't want
what
cash.
I'm saying. So now this is what they were saying about how they're going to try to regulate the systems with all this digital stuff. Because now they can, the bank crashed. All your money's gone. The bank crashed.
Yeah.
It's all digital. You can't come get it from nowhere. You can't do nothing. Whatever you had in there is gone, and it could take 14 years to get it back. Half the people going to be dead in 14 years. Half of them, once their money's gone, they jumping out the building tomorrow.
And you know what they're going to do soon? This is a running theory, but you have an exceptional credit score. And as time goes on, that's going to be the number one thing because they'll be like, hey, you know, you got a 500 credit score. We need to start penalizing your account just to, encourage you to be a better civilian. I'm telling you, they're going to, bro, once they do it in one place, it starts to trickle. For the most part. That's like saying, all right, the air.
Such an arrogant American thing to say.
It's not about American. It's just like, all right, if the car was.
Go to Africa with your credit and see what they do.
For how long?
Go right now.
For how long? No.
Right now.
You can buy some shit in Africa with good credit, though.
Buy shit.
Like, I'm gonna keep it real right now. Everything I buy, because my credit score is so high, I don't put nothing down. I just leave.
Yeah.
I could go get this building across the street right now. Word to mother with no money down. I would just have to be able to pay for the monthly payment.
Yeah.
So they're giving stuff away to people. Like, people acting like it's hard to get shit, right? They don't even really, let's keep it real. When you fill out documents, they're not checking how much money you're really making that fast. People are lying on the documents.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that they're checking is your credit score to see, are you paying your stuff?
That's it.
Which makes sense by what by the money you're putting up there.
That's the point.
It's meant to be.
It's meant to be.
It's meant to be.
Set up like that.
Then we go to war. Then when niggas
make
get
our
mad,
money back, print
as soon as they get mad, then we owe them money. Okay, we're gonna beat you up now and take your rest of your money and then use that to pay you your shit back, and you're gonna be thankful that you got your shit back.
And think about it. In this moment of our lifetime that we've understood, ain't never been this many amount of black men with access of power and wealth. Unless you want to centralize it to just Africa, but in scale across the country, where so many black men are making six figures.
How are we gonna say that? They're saying 10 to 15% of the people in the continental United States is only making six figures. So how can we say it's a whole bunch of black dudes?
And just because of the entertainment and the hip hop culture, how many dudes became millionaires?
That's small.
But if you take that from 40 years ago, then the number is pretty much zero.
Yo, bro, it's not a lie.
No, but what I'm saying, when you look at things, it's escalating at a higher scale. And I know people see that. The number one thing that's the most offensive thing is a black man that don't gotta answer to nobody and has power and wealth.
But it ain't a lot of us, bro.
But it's growing. All right, let me ask you something right now. If you see a little bit of dirt right here, you're just gonna be like, it ain't gonna be nothing crazy. You're gonna get it done before it gets out of hand. It's the same thing like tidying up a mess.
Let me just give you an outlook at what I'm saying.
All right, cool.
It's only 330-something NBA basketball players, right? And people think they're powerful. all 330-something, even LeBron got to answer to somebody. All of them. Every last one of them. They're all answering to somebody, dog. If you want to count up all the football players, they're all plantation workers. Stop it. That's the plantation sport. They're all answering to somebody. There ain't too many black people that's out here that's not answering to nobody, bro. Let's just keep it real. And then the people who we think got money, they don't got the money you think they got. They cap. All right? Then a couple of people who do got money, they're not investing into the society. They're keeping the money for themselves. They're the type of people that want to be the only black guy in the room. Do y'all know those?
Yeah, a lot of them.
They want to be the only black guy in the room. They don't want to pull in other people to make money. So it seems like people are making so much money, but they are not. It is a facade, and it's fucking people's minds up. Because if you know that these people aren't making this money, you're not going to follow them. You're not going to believe in them. Their clout's going to go down and their popularity, bro. But please don't believe the hype. If it's only 10 to 15% of people making six figures in the United States, you have to know there's not a lot of people making, making money.
I'm looking at it from whatever it was in the 70s. And we already know, because we just spoke about it prior to, think about how far removed are we from slavery?
I always said that 100-something years.
So now, if we're behind on the 8 ball on that, literally in the space we at, this is the most powerful in this country black men have been.
All right, I just want to make this one point,
Let's go
because they're coming up.
Yeah.
Even with that test pool that you're talking about, right? Think about this. With that test pool, it's 331 million people now here. So back when it was the 70s, it was way less people.
So it's just adjusted for scale?
Exactly. It's just a ratio now, bro.
All right.
That's it.